The man's fist had already surpassed the speed of sound, and just one strike was enough to trigger a sonic boom in the air. However, this was still far from enough to defeat the primitive man, Pick. So, he mobilized all 230 joints in his body and delivered the most powerful punch in history. However, just when Katsumi thought this move could defeat the primitive man Pick, the 100-plus-year-old Huang suddenly appeared here. He hung an egg on a string in the path of Katsumi's finishing move. In the next instant, the egg was sliced in half. After that, Master Huang explained, the number of movable joints in the human body is not just 230. You can have as many as you need. Just by using the shoulder joint, you can easily surpass the speed of sound. At night, Katsumi practiced alone in his room. At dawn, he finally grasped the essence of the sonic fist. He began to imagine that his arm was composed of countless joints, and eventually, he successfully cut the egg in half. However, relying on just one arm was still not enough. He started to imagine that his entire body was made up of countless joints. Katsumi, who had grasped the ultimate technique, was so excited that his legs couldn't stop trembling. Then, he mobilized the countless joints in his body and delivered the most powerful punch in history. Soon, the day of the decisive battle with Pick arrived. He prepared himself and walked towards the arena. The moment he stepped into the arena, a powerful aura rushed towards him. 55,000 members of the Shinshinkai simultaneously charged forward with their fists raised to cheer him on. Katsumi felt that he was stronger than ever before. The moment the iron gate opened, Pick pounced on Katsumi like a hungry tiger. However, what greeted Pick were Katsumi's lightning-fast 3 consecutive strikes. Pick didn't fall, and it opened its mouth wide and pounced on Katsumi again. But Katsumi landed a strike on Pick's vital spot, and the intense pain made Pick tremble all over. This completely enraged Pick. It stood up and charged towards Katsumi. However, Katsumi skillfully utilized the countless joints in his body and launched an attack that exceeded the speed of sound. This strike made Pick kneel down on one knee. The effect of force is mutual. Under the huge impact, his right fist has also been completely ruined. Even so, Katsumi was still filled with joy because he still had other means. He launched an attack with his right foot and left fist. After these two attacks, Pick finally fell to the ground. However, what Katsumi never expected was that the advantage he had gained at the cost of both his hands and his right foot collapsed in an instant. Pick recovered in an instant, but instead of feeling afraid, Katsumi became even more excited because he still hadn't unleashed the most powerful strike in history. The moment Pick rushed over, he twisted his entire body to drive his right arm. At this moment, his fist not only exceeded the speed of sound but even approached the speed of light. Its power was comparable to that of a nuclear weapon, and it directly knocked Pick into a state of unconsciousness. He had really done it. With just his own strength, he had advanced karate by 100 years. At this moment, the 55,000 spectators at the scene all shouted Katsumi's name.